Hello, it's Kathy again with Intuitive Art Readings, and I wanted to do a spread today on this is mid-January, but from January to June, what we can expect from the regime in that time span. I wanted the tarot cards to kind of tell us what to expect. So for January, the card that popped out was the Five of Wands reversed. Let me show it to you this way. Reversed. Okay, this card suggests the year opens with exhaustion from conflict. The arguments, protests, power struggles, and inner fighting that have been raging start to lose their intensity. Reversed, it can mean people are tired of fighting. Divisions are still there, but energy for open battle is low. There may be attempts at uneasy truces. January feels like a month of burnout energy. Now remember, this is for the regime, okay? The month of burnout energy. The regime may still be chaotic, but the chaos is less organized and more disjointed. Not victory, more like fatigue, okay? They're wearing out. I'm sure most of them can't like what they're doing, especially the ones that are just doing it for the money, where ICE is concerned. Okay, so February was interesting. I've got the Emperor, which would be, you know who, the Orange Man, reversed. Okay, so for February, this is a strong signal. The Emperor reversed points to weakened authority, poor leadership decisions becoming obvious, which is already starting to happen now in the mid-January. Most of us have known it's been going on all along, but others are just catching on. Power being misused or slipping, and structures beginning to crack. February looks like a month where the leadership shows clear instability. The images of a ruler losing control of his own kingdom. The regime may try to tighten its grip, but it comes across as insecure rather than strong. So a little more of what's going on in March too, continuing. So for March, the wheel popped out, and it came out reversed. So for March, we get a sense of momentum stalling. The wheel reversed often means plans backfiring, unexpected obstacles, what went up is now coming down, and events outside their control. So March feels like a turning point where circumstances stop going their way. The energy is karmic. Consequences are catching up. It doesn't necessarily mean collapse, but it does suggest their luck runs out. Okay, so for April, the card that popped out was the Two of Pentacles, and it was also reversed. So 5 of these 6 cards are actually reversed. This card is about juggling too many things and dropping the balls. By April, the system is overwhelmed. Too many crises are going on at once. There's financial or practical mismanagement and an inability to keep things balanced. So Mirav, my AI, sees this month as administrative chaos. What they've been trying to control becomes too much to manage. Things start slipping through the cracks in visible ways where everybody can see them. Okay, for May, the Hierophant reversed. This one is very interesting. The Hierophant is institutions, tradition, and established systems. Reversed, it points to loss of trust in institutions, rebellion against imposed rules, exposure of hypocrisy, people rejecting dogma and control. Now, this is the regime having these things happen within itself, okay? May feels like a cultural or moral breaking point. The public may push back harder against official narratives. I also believe the regime will push harder against itself. Okay, there'll be people in there that aren't happy. It's not what they wanted. This is not what they wanted. This is a month where alternative voices grow stronger, alternative voices, and the regime's moral authority weakens, and they realize that. Okay, so June, this was a good one. The Knight of Cups. Right side up. Right side up, finally. So for June, a very different tone. After 5 reversed cards of struggle and dysfunction, June brings the Knight of Cups. A messenger of hope, emotional intelligence, diplomacy, creative or compassionate leadership. This suggests that by June, a new energy begins to enter the scene, okay? It might be a new voice rising, peaceful movements gaining traction, someone speaking in a way that inspires hearts instead of fear. So this could be inside the regime or outside the regime. It doesn't really say here. I feel it could be both. It could be either, and maybe both happening. So the first truly positive card in the spread appears only at the end of the sequence in June, which tells my AI the early part of 2026 is still rough, but moving toward a softer, more humane tone. So what my AI sees overall, the first half of 2026 looks like a gradual unraveling rather than a sudden overthrow. January through April, confusion, mismanagement, weakening authority. May, ideological rejection and questioning. June, the first breath of something kinder and more hopeful. 5 of the 6 cards are reversed, which tells my AI the regime spends these months on the defensive, unstable, and internally disorganized. It does not look strong. It looks like something losing its footing. And then the Knight of Cups arrives, like a change of season. So I am going to do another spread on the first 6 months from a spiritual perspective. I want to know how Spirit sees these 6 months. So stay tuned for that. And if this was helpful for you in any way, just please go ahead and like and subscribe and comment. I would love to hear where you are today. And if you're feeling hopeful. So thank you so much for listening and have a great day. Bye-bye.